My girlfriend lied to me that she was with a friend, but that friend was with me picking out an engagement ring. I, 28 male, want to propose to my 3-year girlfriend, 26 female. Now that I'm older, I'm terrible at choosing jewelry. I'm the sort of man that doesn't mind wearing heart-shaped jewelry. Really, why is it deemed so unattractive? As a result, if I want to purchase anything for my girlfriend, I normally contact one of our common acquaintances. My girl's best friends are all friends with me, and we all get along well, so I'm accustomed to asking them for advice on jewelry. When it came to choosing a ring, I turned to my girlfriend's closest friend Justine, fake name. Justine and I are great friends, and she knows my girlfriend better than anybody else, even myself. So, when my girlfriend went to see her sister and young nephew, I brought Justine over to the home to assist me in selecting a ring. Justine and I browsed through a few catalogs before concluding that it was a dead end and that it would be best to consult with specialists in a jewelry shop. However, since I didn't know when my girlfriend would return, Justine and I devised a smart text to measure how much time we had. As I was ordering takeout and needed to know when to inform them to get the meal ready, I asked her when she'd be home. She replied that it would be a few hours before she caught up with Justine to go shopping. Obviously, this caught me off guard since Justine was standing inside my home. When I showed Justine the text, she seemed as perplexed as I did. It's not unusual for my girlfriend to meet up with folks out of the blue for shopping, lunch, and so on. She is a highly impulsive person who enjoys creating arrangements on the spur of the moment. Normally, I would have accepted this SMS in a heartbeat. This, of course, had to be a lie. When she got home, she pretended everything was okay, and I played along, but it's been incredibly difficult to pretend everything is fine. We ordered takeout, ate together, and then snuggled on the sofa. So far, she's picked up on the fact that something is bothering me, but I can't tell her what. I'm dying just looking at her. I'm at a loss on what to do. My partner and I have no difficulties with trust and tell each other everything, so this deception is hurting me. I really want to question her about it, but if I tell her I knew she was lying, I'd have to explain why, which I don't want to do. What should I do? I'm certain she lied to me, but I'm not sure how to approach her about it. Should I simply let it go? This is something that will not go away. Please assist. I finally decided to face my girlfriend. I considered adopting several of the falsehoods recommended by others, but they simply didn't make sense. To claim I bumped into Justine somewhere. I told my daughter I needed to remain home and do housework, which is why I couldn't accompany her to meet my SIL. To claim Justine was assisting me in the selection of jewelry. It doesn't make sense for her to go all the way to our home to assist me in the selection of jewelry unless it was a substantial piece of jewelry, like an engagement ring. If I only wanted to purchase her a piece of jewelry as a present, I'd ask her friends for recommendations or have them give me photographs of jewelry she'd enjoy. Everything takes place through text. None of the explanations made sense. So I chose to be truthful. I essentially simply stated that I knew we'd been talking about marriage and that she probably knew a proposal was on the way. So I called Justine over to help me get her the ideal ring, and it just so happened to be the day she said she was going to see her. So, what's the deal? She instantly began grinning like an idiot and teasing me about proposing and the ring, but we quickly returned to the issue of where she was, and she disclosed what she was actually up to. No, she wasn't cheating, and she wasn't choosing a ring for me. The number of times that was commented was crazy. As a result, some individuals like dogs while others prefer cats. I, on the other hand, am a snake guy. I spent my whole childhood surrounded by snakes. But I never felt like I could have one since my girlfriend was always concerned about living with a snake, which I absolutely understood. Furthermore, the procedure of purchasing and rearing a snake differs greatly from that of purchasing and rearing a dog or cat. It's a little tricky. So imagine my astonishment when my girlfriend sent me a photo of herself carrying the prettiest Kenyan sand boa I've ever seen. Needless to say, my girlfriend planned on surprising me with a snake. We'll be taking her up next week. She's so adorable. I certainly did not anticipate this, and I apologize for spoiling the surprise, but oh well. Life is wonderful! Sorry if this isn't the finale you were hoping for or expecting, but it's just a snake lol. Thank you for your time. Story 2. Boyfriend, 23 male. Frequently text his close female friend. Because my boyfriend knows my Reddit account, this is a throwaway-ish. I really want to blame it on my own insecurities, but I'm having difficulties finding out how to approach myself and my partner about it. Background: I've been dating my boyfriend for approximately 6 months. When my boyfriend and I initially began dating, he was open about the fact that he is good friends with multiple women on whom he had crushes in the early stages of their connection. Either their sentiments were not reciprocated, or neither person took the next step, and the feelings gradually dissipated. I appreciate my boyfriend's candor at the time, and I have faith that he is not still secretly in love with these females. While I have no objections to his retaining such ties, he has one longtime college acquaintance I'll name Emily who is causing me some grief. My boyfriend said that he used to like Emily when they were initially getting to know each other, but he stressed that she was certainly not into him at the time, and their relationship grew from there. When we were discussing this at the start of our relationship, he also said that although he is willing to be flexible and accept limits in these sorts of friendships, he informed me that he feels he has a strong knowledge of the limits between platonic and romantic relationships, which is particularly important considering that he was previously cheated on by a girlfriend. But when I asked him if he could define what those obvious limits were, he couldn't. However, I believe that his previous honesty, clarity, and comfort were sufficient evidence that he was trustworthy and emotionally knowledgeable, so I didn't linger on it. I should point you that our primary focus is on long-distance travel. For the last 2 months or so, I've been able to see him on most weekends, and I've observed that he and Emily text a lot. He'll start messaging her as soon as I start getting ready in the morning, and it's not just a few messages. They seem to be having a real-time texting conversation while I'm getting dressed. He texts her throughout the day, although less often, but it disturbs me since we generally spend the whole day together. He recently said that he doesn't feel like he has an emotional outlet with his male pals and asked if he could speak to Emily for emotional support and relationship guidance. I sympathize with him since he seems to be a highly emotionally educated guy who would likely struggle to have his emotional needs satisfied by other straight males. I first agreed, but now that I know how much time they spend chatting together, I'm not sure I'm okay with it. After I consented, he said that he had previously informed Emily about an unpleasant time from an intimate event we'd had in order to gain her advice experience. For some reason, it made me feel incredibly uneasy, not because he had told her, but because of the nature of their relationship. I suppose it's my responsibility for agreeing to let him confide in her, but I'm not sure how to handle it. He has many female friends that he might turn to for emotional assistance, since he is a very sociable and handsome person. Many of his pals are women I don't know intimately, but who, like Emily, have a less close relationship with him. And for some reason, I'd feel more at ease than if he confided in his longtime close buddy. Finally, I trust my guy, but I can't escape the sensation that something isn't quite right. My impression is that the amount of time and regularity with which we communicate, as well as the degree of emotional closeness, is crossing the line from platonic friendship to something more. I'm not sure whether this is a legitimate emotion. Any suggestions on how to address the problem would be much appreciated. Thank you very much.